it's really nice to see everybody come together to make this happen. By the end, I've been through a few of the startup weekends, so I really know how much you can get out of it. Real quick, has anybody in the room participated in a startup weekend before? That's pretty good. Okay, pretty good number. So take it. You'll get a lot out of it, and we'll get more into that. This is really quickly then tonight what we end up doing is pitching your idea. That's what everybody's here to do, and then we'll form teams and vote and form teams around that, and then get into the work Saturday and Sunday. And there's a lot of work that goes into the weekend, and you probably end up pushing yourself a lot harder than you thought you would, and that's what starting a company is, and that's why we have Nally and Phil Ekalp, who started their own business. They've started many businesses actually, and they're entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs, starting a $100 investment back in the 90s into a multi-million-dollar company. And we're fortunate enough to have them here today to speak to us about why on earth you would ever start a startup.
All right. Thanks, Mark. We're going to fight over the microphone probably, so just...
Okay. Well, I want to thank the entire organizing group here at Ventura County Startup Weekend for giving my husband and I the opportunity to inspire and motivate you guys and share our entrepreneurial journey. I want to thank Martin for the opportunity to inviting me here. Who's ready to start a business and make their dreams a reality? So a little bit about myself. I'm a mother of 4, serial entrepreneur, small business expert, and on-air business analyst. I'm currently the CEO and founder with my husband, Phil Ekalp, of CorpNet.com. CorpNet provides legal document filing services for any of you who want to make your small business dreams a reality. And the reason I'm here tonight is to share with you guys why on earth I went into entrepreneurship for myself back in 1997 and decided to work for myself. And I'm going to hand it over to my husband, and he's going to start with back in 1997 how it all began, and I'm going to take it over, and we're just going to do this as a team kind of work.
Sure. Sounds good. Thank you, Nellie.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Phil, and I'm an entrepreneur. Wrong meeting. You know what? The entrepreneurial journey, the things that you get to do as an entrepreneur that I got to do, I would never have been able to do had I been working for someone else or doing a job other than being an entrepreneur. And I just get really excited and passionate about it. When I look back, I guess how it really started was I kind of stumbled my way through school. You know, I started off at a junior college, and I remember talking to the counselor, and the counselor, as I came in with my long hair, and I was playing in a band, I was taking 3 units a semester, and I go, what do I need to graduate? He goes, well, Mr. Ekalp, you have 6 units, and you'll be here for another 8 years. And I said, well, that's all right. It's cool. I'm going to tour with my band, bro, you know. And he's like, listen, Mr. Ekalp, I have something for you. Do you know what this is? And he shows me a computer. And I look at this thing. It was the old, the computers with the green screen. Remember those? Or the Hercules graphics card for the older crowd in here. Forgive me, for the younger kids, it's that big box that you might have seen on old TV shows, right? But I saw that thing, and he goes, this is a computer, and this is the future. Do you know how to work that? And I go, no, I don't need that. I can sing. And he looks at me and he says, I have something for you, Mr. Ekalp. And I kid you not, this is the best college counselor I have. He turns around, goes into a closet, and pulls out a shovel. This guy must have had a closet full of shovels. He pulls out a shovel, and he goes, this is for you, because you're going to be digging ditches for the rest of your life. Have a good day. And I remember I took that shovel. I actually left with it. It was like this little kind of wooden shovel. And what an impact it had on me. I went out, I got myself a computer, from some garage sale somewhere. I took it apart and I fell in love with technology. And that romance and that passion that I've had with technology since then has just carried me forward. Now, we were doing it at a very fortunate age. We were doing it at a time when everything was growing and rolling really fast. Fast forward, college, right? I found out that as long as I stay in college, I don't have to pay back all those student loans. So I just kept staying in college. And I stayed in college till I made it through law school. And I was in law school at Pepperdine, and I'm sitting there, and I remember she was working every day. I had, I don't know, $250,000 in student loans that I owed, but she was working every day. And she'd come in, and I'd sit in my apartment. We lived in Calabasas. She worked in Glendale. And I remember I was getting a D in my corporations class, and I was just doing such a horrible job. I'm not a D student. I want to do better than this, right? Because I'm an overachiever with long hair, and I want to do better than this. And all of a sudden, she comes in the door, and I see her, and she just like sweaty, mascara's running down her face. She drops her briefcase, and she looks at me, and I'd been sitting home all day. She'd been at a job all day. She just drove back from Glendale, no air conditioning in a broken down CRX. And she literally looks at me before we were married, or maybe it was just after. And she says, she drops it and goes, "Do you think you can do a little something to contribute to this relationship?" And then she walked off into that spare bedroom, and I went, "Oh man, I better pick something up." But you know what? I have a stack of rejection letters from all the law firms that said, "We're not going to hire you, Mr. Akelp, or whatever, for whatever reason." Literally 150 of these things. I'd been fired from 18 other different jobs before then. The longest job I'd ever had was 2 months. I couldn't hold a job for 2 months, all right? And some of them I would just stop going back to. I just wouldn't even show up anymore because I didn't like it. I didn't love it. I'm an ethical person, but I just couldn't do it anymore. So she looks at me and she goes, "You know what, Phil? You got to do something." I go, "Hey, do me a favor. I got an idea. I need to borrow $100 though." And she goes, "For what?" And I go, "We're going to start incorporating businesses online. And I need $100 to buy a domain name," because that's how much it was back then. And she loaned me that $100. And I went and I bought it. It took 2 weeks to get the domain name. I had to write a guy named Sky, who is now, or was at the time, the CEO of Earthlink, but he was in his apartment. And I wrote him a check for $100, and finally he got, because they didn't take credit cards. And he came back, and he got us the domain name. We got it. And before you know it, we had our first customer. We had our second customer. And I'm like, "This is cool. I can go to the beach now, right? This is awesome." So I changed my answering machine. I changed my outgoing voicemail, and I said, "Please leave your message after the tone. If you'd like to place an order, please leave your credit card number, and we'll call you back with the amount we've charged you. Thank you." And people were doing it. It was the wild, wild west out there. It was crazy. So anyways, I went off to study for the bar. Then she took over. Oh my God, that business just scaled and scaled and scaled. Working with her has been the most amazing journey of my life. We still work together today. We have 4 kids now. And I'll let her take it from here. But I just want to tell you, unless you take the chance, unless you take the dive and just go for it, you're never going to know. And you're going to look back at yourself and you're going to say, "Oh yeah, I could have done that. Maybe I could have done that. That guy did that." I am so glad that I get to say I did that. So here's Nellie.
Thank you, Phil. So why on earth would you want to start your own business? People ask me that all the time. Well, guess what? I do it because it doesn't seem like work for me. When you love something, when you're passionate about something, it's not work. It's what you do. And believe me, people ask me every day, "Would you do it for free?" Absolutely, I do. And I would, because if I get up every day knowing that I'm going to be a part of a group that's doing something for the world and changing people's lives and blazing people's trails, why wouldn't I do it? I'm going to say something. I have a person here that used to work for my first company, Greg Monterosa. Greg, stand up.
Greg, yes.
Our first company, mycorporation.com, was founded in 1997, and it was my pleasure to bring Greg on board. And Greg's here today, his own entrepreneur. So for me, entrepreneurship and being my own small business owner is about leaving an impression behind, creating a legacy, making an impression on people such as Greg, who come to me and said, "Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, that platform that allowed me to be the person I am today. So to me, my hat's goes off to people like Greg and people like yourselves, because you know what? For the fact that you guys are here tonight, that says a lot about you. You took the chance, you showed up here, and that in and of itself is entrepreneurship. So you guys should applaud yourself and take that vision, take that dream, and give it a shot and make it into a reality, because if you don't, you'll never know what's up. And Mark Twain said it best. This is something that I live by. The two most important days of your life is the day you were born and the day you find out why. Don't you want to know why you were born and why you were placed on this earth? I do. Thank you.
Well, that was great. Thank you guys so much.